Is gay marriage a civil right? Thanks for joining us for Khari Free at Last on Bounce 23 TV. I'm Khari Naharo. The Coalition of African American Pastors says the claim of gay marriage proponents that they are fighting the same fight as the civil rights movement decades before is just plain wrong. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Irv Jallo, Donella Martin Braddock, and Richard Lundy. Richard Lundy, is gay marriage a civil right?
Absolutely not. Based on the homosexual agenda and what COINTELPRO put in place back in the 60s, it's just another nail in the coffin trying to destroy the the family structure.
What is the homosexual agenda?
We see it, I see it in the psychological areas. You go back to 1973 when it used to be on the books in one of their association books that it was mental illness, and they were able to get that changed.
They were able to flip it.
They were able to flip it. Well, right now as we speak, they're doing that with pedophilia. They're making pedophilia a sexual preference. And so you can see that.
So you're saying that's a part of an agenda?
As part of an agenda to get us to accept that as natural.
Wow. Donella Martin Braddock, is gay marriage a civil right?
Absolutely. Gays have existed since the beginning of time. It's a natural variation of human sexuality. It's not going away, and people who are gay deserve to have the same rights as people who are straight.
Now, according to the Williams Institute, only 1.7% of the general population in this area of the world known as America are classified as homosexual. This is one of the top gay think tanks in the country out of San Francisco.
Well, in 1948, Alfred Kinsey, in the book The Sexuality of the Human Male, judged that 10% of the male population is gay. And that was in pre-Ozzie Harriet America. In a Gallup poll in 2008, it was estimated that up to 21% of American males could be gay, and up to 23% of American females could be gay. So the question is, what is gay and how is it defined?
Let me ask you this, Richard Lundy. She's saying it could be as many as 23%, but the Williams Institute, the top think tank research, which is gay itself, says it's between 1.7 and 3%. That's the highest they'll go. Which figure is correct?
Well, I mean, we all know how we use statistics. Statistics can be used any kind of way that we want to use those statistics. So to me, I'm leaning toward the lesser, you know.
Why?
Because they're the ones that they have the more credibility. They have the most credibility as far as I'm concerned.
Rather than Kinsey? How do they have more credibility than Kinsey?
Because it's composed of all of those, the homosexual community.
So you're saying they themselves are saying between 1.7.
Right.
And that's very recent. What do you think, Irv Jallo?
You know, I think it would kind of vary a little bit just because you have so many in the closet still, so many people who are down low. That number may be a little bit higher, maybe a little bit
higher.
For
those people who don't know, what does down low mean?
Down low means that brothers who are secretly homosexual, but yet, you know, still have.
So they have a beard, they have a wife, they call them a beard.
They call them a beard, yes,
And so they're what, homosexual?
So they're homosexuals. I mean,
well, which number is correct then? Which one? Don't be trying to walk like James Brown sliding around.
I think that it's slightly higher when you start to incorporate all of the down low brothers and
well,
people
give me
who are
a
still
number.
in the closet. I say about 5%.
You think it's, well, that's not slightly higher.
Slightly, I said slightly higher.
Well, why do you think it's no more than 5% when she's saying it's high as 23%?
Because what I'm finding, if you're gonna take the young people right now and what they're doing, you see across the board, a whole lot of young people are experimenting. A lot of those young people aren't really gay. They're not going to stay that way. They're not going to stay same-sex lovers. A lot of the children that I talk to say that this is a sure way that they don't get pregnant, but they want to have children with a man. They want to be in a relationship,
that sounds
you know,
like massive
with a man.
Confusion to me.
It is massive.
Like
it is massive confusion. It absolutely is.
Am I right, Donella? Am I right, Richard? I mean, that sounds a lot of confusion to me.
This confusion has always been a facet of many societies. In a lot of African societies, Polynesian societies, and Asian societies, they have had segments of the population that were designated as a third gender. So to accommodate for these
Where's your evidence that in Africa there was homosexuality? According to books I've read, it did not originate out of Africa.
Well, there is no such thing as it did not. Everything originated out of Africa because we're all Africans. That is where humanity Christianity started.
But not certain behaviors.
But absolutely, because if you look at Africa now, the African clergy, because of their domination by colonialism and imperialistic powers, are undermining the homosexual population and have become very homophobic. But if you go back to African history...
What does the word homophobic mean?
Homophobic is a fear that homosexuals will somehow disrupt the society.
Is gay marriage really a civil right? Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. The Coalition of African American Pastors says black children need males and females and mothers and fathers. Need them united in marriage for healthy, emotional, spiritual, social, and mental development. Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, Donella Martin-Braddox, and Richard Lundy. Lundy, the black pastors, the clergy is saying, look, we've got enough confusion as it is with black male-female relations. This intrusion is creating more conflict. It says we need healthy black males and females united in marriage. True or false?
That's true. That's true. I guess a point that I'd like to make is, you know, if you go back to history, if you look at Greece and you look at Rome and you look at homosexuality, and then you look at how it has evolved, just because it is growing and just because the media is imposing it upon us doesn't make it right. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's where I have the issue with that is, yeah, there's a lot of people that are doing that. That doesn't make it right, okay? And so to me, I feel that I should have the right to be in opposition to that and not be rammed down my throat and my children not be taught that in school. How is it that the gay community in less than 40 years have been able to not only become a legal, a legitimate entity, but it also has its curriculum in the public school systems. I'm an African. I've been in this country all my life. My ancestors been here for 300 years, and we can't get our African history in the schools, in the school books.
Well, why do you think they moved ahead? Are they using black people? Are they using the civil rights? That's what the pastor said. They're using the civil rights stuff.
See, the unique thing to me about this homosexual movement, I was an affirmative action officer years ago. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was a further way to divide the black community. Mm. It's a further way to divide the black community. Okay, so if you now what homosexuality does that no other movement in this country does is it compiles all the ethnic groups. Goes across all the lines, and just as Earth said, they're in the closet, they're in the Senate, they're in the Supreme Court. So they're in strategic and key positions. And so what they do is they control it. The power that they have is just unbelievable because it crosses all genders and it crosses all racial groups. And they're going to stick together on that one issue. They're not going to look at any other issues. They're looking only at that issue. When do they come out and support the violation of human rights of African people? Have they ever come out and did that? No, they don't do that. But they still continue to move forward on us to where we get to accept it. We have to accept it and can't say anything about it.
Right. The pastors have alluded to that the gay movement has exploited the civil rights movement, decoded black. Is that true, Donella?
I don't think so at all. I think when you have black pastors who are calling for homosexuality to be ended because it is a threat to the black family, let's look at the reasons why there are so many people who are engaging in homosexual activity. One of the reasons is the high rate of incarceration with young males. A lot of them are incarcerated at the height of their sexual peak, and it has become a rite of passage for a large segment of the population. They are initiated into homosexual sex, and they continue these behaviors afterwards. So if you want to talk about, you know, its destruction or threat to the black family, let's talk about lowering the incarceration rates. Let's also talk about the reason why there's so many young black girls who are engaging in homosexual activity who may not necessarily be homosexual.
Why are they engaging?
And a lot of it is because of the high rate of sexual molestation and abuse that girls are subjected to, and a lot of them feel safer experimenting with other women. So let's not talk about homosexuality as the demon. Let's talk about the ills that lead people who would normally not do it.
I think I will agree with some of it, but I have to take it and say that also the males are dealing with a high rate of rape, incest, and molestation as well. And I think that it goes across the board. It's not just the women who are dealing with this. We have to include the young men as well, who self-medicate.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me that black families at a high level are engaging in rape and molestation? I ain't buying that.
Well, I told you that before.
How dare you put that out here?
I told you that
Where's
before.
your data?
I told you that before. 8 out of 10 women have been sexually violated.
What's your source?
You can go to any of them.
No.
Go to YouTube. Go Google it. Google it. Do
What's
your
your source?
research.
Give me your source.
Do your research. I'm facts here, and it doesn't matter about stats. We already said if stats can be used any way you want to use them. We need somebody in our community to do the stats if we're gonna talk about that.
Richard, do you believe that 8 out of 10 black girls are molested in the African American community? Do you believe that?
I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue.
Do you believe what she's saying, though?
I don't have a clue.
What's that?
What's your estimate?
What does that mean? I don't have a clue.
To me, you know, I look at things from a different perspective. I look at the cause of the problem. Okay, when they brought us over to this country, the main objective was to destroy the family. And so you got to go to that. It sticks with the family. The first institution that God gave us was the institution of family. Our family has been destroyed since we've been here, and it's still destroyed. So to me, it's still going back to family.
So you think this is a part of this whole gay movement is a part of that destruction?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Again, what is it doing? Look at all the
It's breaking up the
what it's doing in our family. Just when we're trying to make a move collectively together, there's another group now.
I don't think we can blame homosexuality for the breakdown of the black family. I think that's a movement, you know, against homosexuality, period. A lot of us talk about pastors and Leviticus and how homosexuality is wrong in the Bible, yet Leviticus 19:27 says that you should not cut your beard or cut your sideburns. Nobody's talking about that. So if you hate homosexuals, you can hate homosexuals, but don't blame them for the breakdown of the black family.
You're not accusing people who have their own point of view of hating, are you?
Why not? You're allowed to hate.
Oh,
wait a minute.
And they even say God hates fags. We see those signs all the time. There are plenty of people who hate homosexuals.
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Clarify
I don't have anything against gay people. I think gay people have a right to fight for their rights or whatever, but I don't think they have a right to impose it on me. I don't have to accept that. You look at the entire animal kingdom. The entire animal kingdom. We're part of that animal kingdom. There's no other animal that does that.
Well, actually, that's not true.
Well, wait a minute.
Actually, that is not true. There are several species that lay down and mate with both male and females throughout their life.
What are they? Who are they?
What are they?
What are the species?
Yes, what are
and
they?
what's the source?
Right.
We'll get to the source. Do your research. Do your research. Homosexuality is a natural variation
If you make a
of
claim, hold on for a
species.
minute. When you make a claim here before this audience, you had better back it up with some documentation.
What I beg people to do is to do their research and not say that humans are the only ones who are homosexual. You have seahorses where the males have babies. You have certain species of amoeba where they can become male and female at will. So let's not generalize and say that homosexuality is restricted to the human species and it's an aberration.
I don't think I heard him say that. Turning him on.
Again.
Oh, wait a minute, turning him on. Up next, so Khari free at last. Woo!
Woo.
Welcome back to Khari free at last. What impact will gay marriage have on the African Americans, a population already suffering record low marriage rates, great socioeconomic division, and erosion? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallow, Donella Martin Braddock, and Richard Lundy. Richard Lundy, what impact is this going to have on the African American community?
It's already having an impact on the African American community. When you see all the violence and the crime in our community, both our female guests have talked about the rapes and all the different things that's going on with that. I mean, so it's going to have a tremendous impact on it. It's already having that.
You're saying homosexuality's brought on rape in our community? That's not what you're saying, is it?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it has an impact on that. It's to me, it's like anything goes.
It's like what?
Anything goes.
What do you mean?
Today, in our society, it's like anything goes. Okay, and so to me, the homosexual acts, that whole bit to me that's just a part of it now.
So you're saying that's a gateway to what?
Whatever.
To destroying the family, to breaking down the family.
Earth,
if you have guys,
Go
if
ahead.
you have young guys that now are questioning who they are, or whatever, those young guys experiment, get into that, do that, whatever they're going to do. Now these guys are not procreating. Okay, so that's going to have a
So it has a derogatory effect on reproduction.
especially when you look at the increase in the number of other immigrants that's coming into this country, and you look at the fact that where the Caucasians are in terms of their having children. That's going to definitely make our situation worse.
Earth Jallow, you said you were concerned about Daniela's accusation of hate. What do you mean?
Yeah, just let me clarify.
Yeah.
I don't hate anyone, but I'm with Lundy on this. You know, I have friends of all walks of life.
She
but
alluded to the fact that y'all could be haters.
I don't hate
I'm not
anyone,
hating.
but I'm with Lundy. I don't want anything forced down my throat that is not a value or a moral that I feel, you know what I mean, is good for me and my family and my
So
children.
what's wrong with gay marriage, in your opinion? Or what's right with it?
You know, for me, so I've always been raised and taught that marriage is between a male and a female. I mean, and if we're going to go here and we're going to say we're a Christian society, then that's what it says in the Christian Bible. When do you get to change things when it's convenient for you? Because I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Christians only go and they do what is convenient for them. So if eating pork is what they want to do, oh, well, that was in the Old Testament. This is the New Testament. When did God come back and change the word?
So, Daniela, they say they're not hating, they just disagree with that opinion. Why would you call them haters?
Well, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing, but to deny people the same rights and responsibilities that you have, I consider that hatred because it's hating someone's civil liberties and their rights to freedom. We talk about the Bible. Once again, the good old Christian Bible. In the Old Testament, it says that, yes, it says that fornication is punishable by death, particularly when a woman pretends to be a virgin. It says that even a disobedient, rebellious child can be put to death because of these laws. So let's look at the Old Testament. The Old Testament was pagan and quite brutal. If you are a Christian, you do not follow the Old Testament. You follow the New Testament, which is Jesus's message of redemption and salvation.
Well, what does
And
what does Jesus say about homosexuality?
Jesus hung out with the lowlifes of society. If
I
Jesus
got
were
that,
alive
but-
today, he might be hanging out with a bunch of fags.
Wait a minute, what did Jesus say about homosexuality?
Jesus did not say anything about homosexuality, and that is the point. You have people who want to bring out the Bible when they want to restrict people's rights, and we have had, as far as it destroying the black family, we have had many black Americans of note who have been gay, and they have done nothing but contribute to black society, including James Baldwin, who was a noted homosexual. What's the problem if people continue to be homosexual as they've been throughout time?
She's saying, what's the problem, Richard Lundy? As they've been homosexual throughout time.
They can be homosexuals throughout the future. That still does not make them a married couple to me. That's not natural.
So
to me.
you're still saying it has a derogatory impact on the stability of the black family?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And it's a part of that agenda. Again, you know, people that use the Bible, you know, you talk about the Bible. What about people that don't deal with the Bible? Yeah. That isn't even an entity for them to even deal with.
Well,
that.
what she said was throw the Bible out.
Yeah.
She said, and Earth Jallow, she's telling you throw the Bible out. How dare you use the Bible to make your point?
No, I didn't use the
Yes,
Bible.
you did.
No, I did not. Let me clarify. What I said is and we're supposed to be a Christian society.
We're gonna
And
run
what
that tape back.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is they seem to change it when it's convenient for them. So when it's convenient for them, they apply from their book, oh, well, we're going to throw that out. We're not going to use
Did Jesus
that.
ever oppose homosexuality?
I don't know, because I'm not a Christian.
Oh, did Jesus ever oppose
I don't know.
homosexuality?
I'm not a Christian.
Well, then that doesn't necessarily mean that you can use the Bible. That makes it correct.
I'm not using
No,
it.
she used it first. I didn't use it. I'm just
I'm not using
saying
it.
that when it is convenient for us, we tend to change things to accommodate how we want to do things at that present moment. And that's a fact.
All right, then if you're opposed to it, Lundy, if you feel that it's destroying the black family, what do you think ought to be done?
I think that families need to educate their children about it. I think that they need to go to their doctors. I think that if you talk to pediatricians, those doctors, the gynecologists, the guys that deliver the babies, I heard a doctor talk about it one time, and they talked about it. I can't talk about it technically because I'm not a doctor, but there's some things in that they talk about what happens during the conception and all of that stuff. And I think that they explain that to the children, and then they talk to them about the history of it and how it came about, you know.
Are people born gay, in your opinion? Do you believe that?
I don't believe that.
I can't hear you.
I don't believe that.
Why?
I just don't believe that. I don't believe God made any mistakes.
Whoa, so you said being born gay is a mistake?
No, I said I don't believe he made mistakes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you say that people are born gay is a mistake.
If the genes matched up right, if the X's and the O's matched up right, you had a male and you had a female.
And that's the only way you can go as far as you're concerned. Donella, where do we go from here? Do you believe that it's having a derogatory impact? Got about 15 seconds. Do you believe it's having a derogatory impact on family?
Not at all. Homosexuals have always existed. They are not a threat to intact heterosexual families. Where's the threat?
Legal in Ohio, up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. Should gay marriage be legalized in the state of Ohio? Joining me is TalkTameRadio.com host Earth Jallow, Donella Martin Braddock, and Richard Lundy. Earth, you're gonna go and you're gonna vote on this, and this might be coming up real soon. Should it be legal in the state of Ohio?
I believe that adults have the right to do what they want to do.
Should it be legal, Earth? Yes or no? Stop. Look how slide like James Brown.
You know, I think that, no.
You take, wait. Listen, make a stand and take a position. Should it be legal, yes or no?
No.
No.
No, why?
Again, I think it's destroying the family. It's destroying what we know as a family. It's changing the entire paradigm of what a family is about.
Donella, should it be legal in the state of Ohio?
Yes, it should be legal.
Why?
There are same-sex couples who have been together longer than heterosexual couples, and it's not fair that these couples have to fight for the right to be on their partner's health insurance. They have to fight for the right to be the next of kin. They have to fight for, you know, all of these rights that heterosexual couples automatically have. Love is love.
What happens if we wind up with 75% of people who wind up going into this lifestyle? What would happen to the reproduction of the country? Would it stop?
Well, why do people think homosexuals are like vampires?
Would it stop?
Vampires bite each other, increase the vampire population. Gays don't do that. You're either born gay or you're born straight.
Well, Lundy, you disagree with that. You said that early on, but I'm asking you, what would happen if we moved in that direction? Would we eliminate people? Would people stop being, would we wipe out the planet, or would we still grow? What would happen?
I don't know what would happen, but it doesn't sound like it would be good. It doesn't sound, I mean, if we're not reproducing, again, we were delivered here to create. That's what we did, to procreate. That's what we're here for. So if you got 75% of the people that's in a homosexual kind of situation, you're not doing that.
I do think that there's always going to be straight people who are going to make babies. Period. That babies are always going to be born. There's always going to be somebody having babies. Do I think that fighting for to be on your partner's health care, that should be automatic, but you don't have to get married to do so. There are people
So you're saying marriage is between male and female. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and if you're a same-sex lover, then they should be able to get on their partner's health care and things like that, but you don't have to include
She's saying marriage is between two people regardless. You're saying marriage is between male and female.
A female, yes.
What's the difference?
The difference is if you're a same-sex lover, it's so confusing for these young children. We have to think about these children. It's confusing for the young people.
What is a same-sex lover?
Same-sex lover is what they would call gay or homosexual. I just call them same-sex lovers. And I think that they should have the right to get on medical, their spouse's medical, their partner's medical, and they should be able to live like a couple should live. But marriage is something that you stand before your creator and you take those vows, and that's just the way it's always been, male and female.
So
don't confuse
So
things.
you want to guarantee them the same rights as a marriage person, but you don't want to be married. I don't explain. You're confusing me, Irv.
Well, it's confusing to the children, too.
But what about you? Can you set some clarity here? You confused?
I'm confused.
Oh, you confused, London?
No, but I agree
Tell
with
the
Irv.
truth.
I mean, they can have those benefits. They can give them those benefits, and to me, that doesn't make a marriage. They're not getting together to procreate.
What are they getting ready? Oh, so Donella, Let me get your thoughts. Last
There
words.
have been studies of children who are products of same-sex, households, and they have had no differences as far as well-being and, citizenship or anything like that in comparison
agree
with
with that,
heterosexual
Richard Lundy?
households.
I'd just like to know her source,
What you mean, her source?
Source.
where she got that information from, and how many people they're talking about.
So you're saying that she's speculating without documentation? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if she is or not, but I imagine it's not a whole lot.
Well, I'm looking at
I guarantee you the percentage is not high.
I'm looking at the students that I work with, and in today's society, bullying is huge. And when you have same-sex lovers who have a child in the school system,
I tell you what,
it can get
we
kind
got
of
so
hairy
much
and
to
ugly.
cover. Thanks to TalkTainmentRadio.com host Earth Jallo and Donella Martin Braddox and Richard Lundy. And thank you for watching Khari Free at Last.